Welcome back to the Jarrett Bay Insider. I'm RV Hodge. We have a lot of territory to cover. It is spring and we are busy. I'm standing at the bow of hole 68, Jarrett Bay's 90-footer. We're going to take a pretty significant walkthrough right now. We have a lot going on in this boat, and some of it is something you've probably never seen before. The last time we saw the salon deck, it was on the floor over there, and we were talking about sound dampening. Our next step in the sound dampening puzzle is the salon floor. There's 4 inches of sound dampening in this structure. The total structure is 5 inches thick. You can see the hatches, and one of the next big events that's going to take place is those engines going into the engine room. So from here, we go down forward. You can see that the foredeck is on. That's defined the down forward space. There's an opening here where the final stairs will go in. So let's see what we got going on down here. We are in the down forward section of hole 68, Jarrett Bay 90-footer, and you can see that we are starting to stand up walls in the forward section. These are all dividing out rooms, heads, and so forth. And you can see there's a pretty good tab on there. What that does is it diffuses the stress vectors that hit that when the boat's shaking. In a house construction, you don't have to do that. Your house isn't running through the water at 40 miles an hour slamming into waves, but the boat will be, and all of this will shake like crazy. We have talked about that a little bit before. So one of the things we're doing different on this boat is we are fairing and painting the anchor locker before we put the bulkhead in. Now you can see that this is in the fairing process right now. It's a little more complicated when you're inside a confined space, and even much worse if you can imagine crawling through that hatch, working in what looks like a funnel, and in fact feels like a funnel when you're working in it. So right now, having it wide open, this is making it much easier for the guy who's doing the paint work. So you can see the flare shape here in the space. That's exactly the same as on the bulkhead, so we can go check that out. And here we have the bulkhead that goes into that space. You can see that it matches the shape of the flare, the foredeck, and so forth. It's been faired and primed. You see where the rib bands are notched out. So then once this is all glued in, we just have to catch up the paint work around the edge. The downside to that is it has to be done through the access hatch. That's why all of this is being done while that's all wide open right now. One of the major milestones in the construction of every boat is the cabin. There's a lot of things that are recognizable about the Jarrett Bay cabins, the shape of the swoop and so forth. There are some things on here that might look a little mysterious. The cabin sides, you can see where it's black, that's all infused carbon fiber. Where you see green fiberglass, we use that strategically where we have to hand roll. When you're hand rolling carbon fiber, it's very difficult to get the air out of it. So through the years, we've developed a way of tabbing with fiberglass to stick carbon fiber components together. So we're inside the cabin and you can see real well the variances in the color, the green and the black being the infused carbon fiber, the green being the hand-laid fiberglass. What you don't know from looking at it that way is that every piece of foam that joins these together was actually CNC cut to match exactly those spaces. Obviously, there's much more to talk about on the 90-footer. We'll cover that later in future episodes. Today, as a departure from normal, we're gonna go look at some service projects. We talk so much about new construction that I rarely mention that we have a full service yard. In boat building, almost all of the trades translate directly across from service and repair to building and new construction. And here you can see this boat, which is actually Jarrett Bay Hull 44, is getting fresh teak. It's going to be getting fresh paint and some other upgrades. This is about a 20-year-old boat. It's had a lot of service. Obviously, it's time to get some upgrades. There's a lot of nostalgia attached to working on one of our older boats, but we also work on non-Jarrett Bay boats. Let's go check one of those out. Here we have a 60-foot Bertram. It was launched in 2004, and it's here for repower. Generally with repowers, there'll be some other miscellaneous upgrades because, well, technology changes in that amount of time, and some things just wear out. Let's take a closer look at the project. So a repower is a pretty involved undertaking. You can see they've had to cut away the back bulkhead. They've had to cut away some of the floor. There's big hatches. These engines will be coming out very soon, and then the new ones will be going in with all that goes with it. These guys make this look really easy. It is not. It's very involved. Now let's go take a look at one more big project. We generally talk about sport fish boats around here, but as you can see in our service yard, we handle anything. Behind me is a 108-foot West Ship motor yacht. This boat is getting a complete makeover. It's getting new interior, engines, generators. You can see that the bottom paint is happening even right now as we talk. Once again, this is a really large boat and it's getting a lot of projects on it. Just because it's a production boat doesn't mean it can't be customized. We're doing a lot of custom things on this boat, but one of the really unique things is it's getting a custom ice maker that has a chute to feed ice to the tender that serves this boat. How cool is that? Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Jarrett Bay Insider, and we'll catch you next time.